It's the Snow Wolf type from the days of Medarot 5 that, ever since Medarot 7, has made his place in any given Medarot roster guaranteed and consistent. It is WLF01 Snow Fenrir, with a kit of Cooler, Double Freeze, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Snow type, which grants S rank on snowy terrains in addition to the leg standard matches. Now, right from start, it is honestly a very handy model to make use of, given that Freeze is a very truly balanced and very flexible ailment that you can fit just about anywhere. Cooler is a support-based skill that'll buff the cooldown stat of all allies across the board at about 20%, meaning that after you take your turn and you're running back to start in your cool phase, you will notice you will run noticeably faster than you perhaps have before, to help guarantee that you can get back to the line, such as say in the instance that you are any no defend or a no evade penalty after using certain attacks such as say Ghost or Ghost Shot or Beam Sword or Hyper Beam, where you have to really be careful after your turn that you don't get punished after unleashing that nuke. Right arm and left arm of Freeze, of course, is a standard ailment that'll stop the enemy cold in their tracks, and with the frozen ailment, all attacks are also guaranteed to land, and guaranteed also in addition to be critical hits, which means this ailment is very flexible, very beginner friendly to anyone, and its only big weakness is anyone that is using Stat Cleanse to make sure that the freeze does not stick around or inflict anyone on the opposing side. The Snow type leg ability does tie into his motive very well, but with him being bipedal as well, he does have very solid balance across the board with that too. And since not a lot of legs do have mastery on snow terrain, if at all, anyone that actually does have a mastery on it, such as say the Snow type with Snow Fenrir, this is definitely a very solid and conventional leg to use, even if it does cost you just a little bit of speed to do it. That speed is something you'll very easily make back when most of the other legs, such as even Flight or Multi, are going to be struggling keeping up with it, or even Sea Leg to a degree too, that'll be struggling to keep up with it and maintain their speed, where you'll be dashing up and down the field with nothing stopping you. However, Snow Fenrir's biggest weakness here primarily is the fact that both of his arms are the same ailment, which ties into the redundancy argument, meaning after the opponent has been frozen solid, since you can't stack it, that's basically it for Snow Fenrir, and he's kind of stuck there and out in left field doing kind of nothing until the opponent either is unfrozen, or if you can successfully juggle it where you attack the foe and then freeze him again before they have a chance to move. For these reasons, I do have to rate Snow Fenrir a pretty solid 5.5 out of 10 for what he does offer. Very solid stats across the board too, and those nice general sweet spots you want to be in. Very good mobility on the legs too, with a very good skill with freeze, and an even better leg ability also to capitalize on. But again, with him being the double ailment and redundancy argument, that does hinder his overall viability just a little bit. As mixed parts, on the other hand, I would rate him much higher at a 7.5 out of 10. Given that because Freeze is so flexible and neither of his arms are heavy, that does mean you can fit them just about anywhere very easily and very flexibly without him really standing in your way, and still make use of having that ailment coverage. And of course, like I said, with his biped legs also having the Snow type leg ability, that does also give him that extra terrain and extra coverage to guarantee that anyone that you are using his legs on has that extra speed to compensate for even having the slightly lower stats.